I'm not at home. I'm actually back in Colombia. I'm back in Medellin in Antioquia, and I'm here at Moto Ride Medellin, where I'm going to do another bike tour. So if you saw my previous video, which you probably haven't when I've recorded this because I haven't edited it yet, but I did a tour with them out to Guatape, did some of the touristy things, went up the big rock. Yeah, no, it was fun. But I'm back in Colombia again, so this time I thought I'd do something different. So we're going to do a bit more trail riding. It's a shorter ride this time. Last time I think we did 10 hours, which was straight off an 18-hour journey, which maybe wasn't my wisest decision. So yeah, really looking forward to getting out again, exploring a bit more of the Colombian countryside. I think there's going to be some passes we're going to do this time. The route they sent me certainly looks very squiggly. I'll put the route into the description for the video. And yeah, now I just need to wait for them to arrive. My flight got in really early, so yeah, I've had a bit of time to get changed and sort a few things out. Right then, so here we go. Just got to edge out of here, get up onto the road, into a bit of traffic, and then yeah, we'll be off on my way. And here we are, sort of straight out into Medellin, end of rush hour traffic this morning, which if you saw any of my other video, you'll know that it was a bit worse in the evening, but there is a lot of this sort of, it's a bit of a free-for-all, just trying to work your way around the traffic, but it does help when you've got someone to follow. In a way, actually riding like this in Colombia, I guess, is part of the thrill, maybe. I know it's not exactly everyone's cup of tea, but it's just what you got to do to get in and out of the city here in Medellin. And now that I'm kind of used to it and people zipping through on the inside like that and a bit of self-awareness around it, you'll see there's also a lady on over my right shoulder. We're now out of the city and we're heading up into the hills just on the outskirts. Still fairly fraught on these roads, just trying to find the gaps between the vehicles. It's still busy-ish, but the scenery has certainly changed. We're not sort of on have quite as many lanes to contend with, and there's a lot more of these sort of windy roads as we wind up the sides of the hillside. I come to a small town not far from Medellin, climbing up what is now a pretty steep hill. You can see they're working away there on the hillside trying to put in a retaining wall, and then we're heading to a place called well, it's Angelopolis in English, the city of angels. I guess it's Angelopolis here, and I'm sure someone's going to correct my pronunciation because it's terrible, and they always do. Anyway, it's fun riding up these sort of really steep roads in this sort of little town just outside Medellin. Oh, hello dog. And suddenly we're out of that town and we're into a twisty road up through what I guess is the local bush, the sort of rainforest. Lots of palm trees, just very, very verdant and green. Not a bad road surface. We did have one bit just came through which was a little bit falling apart, but this bit up through here is lovely, and there's no traffic, which is always a bonus. And you get this amazing Colombian scenery, these steep-sided hills, just greenery literally everywhere. I mean, you can see that there is some construction going on. Whoops, sharp bend on a steep hill, but up we trot. Yeah, it's just a really, really cool place. I don't know if you can see the mountains in the clouds over to my right. But yeah, if you come to Colombia, this is kind of what you can expect. So we keep climbing up and up, and we're still finding these amazing roads. I don't know if you can see all the way up there. I think that's what eucalyptus up on the left. But there have been pine trees and all sorts of things up here. Still hardly any traffic on the road, and it's actually a pretty good road surface. And every now and again you come to one of these bends and you just get these amazing views of the mountains through the clouds. Oops, drop a gear. And yeah, it's quite a fun way to spend a morning. We really are getting up into the hills. I mean, some of this looks almost like some of the ski areas in Europe in the summer. But if you look up to my right, I think that's where we're headed, up the wooded hillside with all the cloud shrouding it. Well, it was inevitable, I suppose. We've been riding up and up and up and seeing all these hillsides covered with sort of mist and clouds, that eventually we were going to be in one. So we're just in this bit at the moment. You can see all these tall trees all around me, but we are actually riding through fog or some cloud that was just on the side of the hill. I expect we'll pop out on the other side of it at some point, just because it doesn't seem to be blanketing everything. It's just quite patchy. But yeah, so far so good. But over to my left, there really is quite a precipitous drop down through the trees. All I can see is the clouds in the valley, and occasionally I get a glimpse of just how steep this mountainside is. A few places it looks like it's actually dropped away. Get a quick view through there, maybe not. But yeah, I'll be interested to see this road on the on the map when I actually get back and look at the GPX file. Bits like this where the tarmac just stops for no reason and then restarts again. But they're all fairly manageable on these bikes. This little TTR 200 seems to be just taking it all in its stride. Coming into this hilltop town of Angelopolis, and the roads here really are pretty steep. And if you look at this road here, this is just a normal, well, it's a concrete road here in this town, but I guess it's a ridge and there wasn't really a lot of choice, so they just put it in straight down, put some ridges in it to give you a bit more grip. It's certainly a little quieter than things were when we were leaving Medellin. Interesting to see a bit more of the country and some of these places that are maybe not so much on the tourist track. Just a sign saying unstable geology, and then the road did this. So yeah, it's good to know that they know the bits that are falling apart. They're going to put big concrete supporting walls in. We have one of these steep down hills, but it's just lots of sort of quite slippery clay mud with a few rocks mixed in with it. So you come down. These bikes don't have like full knobblies, they definitely are dual sport tyres and they're partly worn, but there seems to be plenty of grip. There's certainly no slipping around on the clay, and it just keeps it interesting really. And bearing in mind this is just a regular road, this isn't a green lane or like a farm track or something. See, there's like a little railway thing going up the hill. Looks like they're actually just digging coal out of the ground all around here. There's like loads of mine workings up there. I guess they just chuck them into here, park a truck underneath, and out it all comes. That's why there's all these sort of, I guess, coal dust all over the ground. Technically this road is closed through here, but I think we can get through it on the bikes without too much bother. It's just closed to cars, I suppose. It's yeah. Well, all I can say is I'm glad we're on bikes and not in a Jeep, as you'd not get a Jeep through there. All part of the fun. You can see it here, but there's just butterflies everywhere. These little yellow butterflies all over the road. That really is pretty cool. They just don't know if the GoPro's going to pick them up. Not really sure what I thought to see or expect when we came for this ride out today. I knew we were going to be going a bit off the beaten track, but it's been a really interesting mix of seeing those roadside coal mines, butterflies in the air, sort of the rainforest and pine trees, and just some of these little towns that you go through that really are quite different to anything I'd get at home. So we turned off the, well, I'll call it the main road, but honestly it wasn't that main, but you still do come across trucks up here. Some of the corners have been quite hairy. I don't think a truck's going to get down where we've just come up, but then again it must have got in here somehow, so maybe it will. This doesn't look particularly truck friendly either. It's not that different to a green lane you might find in the Peak District. Well, other than the rainforest scenery, yeah, I don't think they got that big truck up through here. They must have got it up somehow. And up we go. Bit of sand, bit of power. Yeah, this is kind of what I came here for. But yeah, this is definitely the back roads now. Almost the back footpaths, I think. Just some like broken tiles making it part of the trail there. But this bike is just chugging up in second, occasionally in the first when we've got a rough bit with a steep corner. But yeah, certainly more interesting scenery than I often get in the Peak District. So that's it, we're about halfway round. It's been a real sort of mix of roads and things to look at. We're on this sort of tiny little lane at the moment. You can see it's a bit like sort of jungle, this very, very steep hillside up there above me, behind, and then it's yeah, coffee plants. So there's I was just looking at some of the coffee cherries that are growing over there. It's not really a coffee growing region, but I guess a lot of them grow here. There's also all sorts of things like big butterflies, small butterflies, hummingbirds, which I'm probably not going to be able to pick up on this. But yeah, it's an opportunity to see a bit more of Colombia and get off the beaten track. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So it's only about halfway, so there's got a lot more of this to come. But as we stopped, I thought I'd do a quick video and show it to you. Off we go again. As you can see, there's still very much a tiny little trail. These amazing views over to the right between these houses. Another one of these crazy hills where they've just built a road. This one has actually got tracks on it, but it's ever so steep. Oh, I feel like I'm about to fall off the front of the bike. That's not so bad. Yeah, I guess the camera doesn't really pick up just how steep that is, but I'm guessing that's a 1 in 3 maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure you get away with that in the UK as a road. Other road users little pack horse who's coming down this, again, really steep hill. Blimey, Charlie, look at this, coming down through here. It's just on the back brake quite a lot, hoping the bike just doesn't slip. And skid the back a little bit. Oh, another down. So sometimes you have to ride on the left just to get round these big trucks. Oh, and there's a little tuk-tuk following it not far behind. And then back onto a paved road again. Yeah, it's odd because it really is just farmland. Then all over the place there's just these little coal mines. You know, it's literally someone's just put up a bit of a tent and they're just digging coal up almost from the surface. Yeah, it looks like there's a slightly more industrial operation going on down there, but again only slightly, and that it looks, well, still fairly small scale. You can see the road through here is a bit messed up. We were waiting for a while, but there just seems to be a constant stream of trucks coming through, so I think we're just going to try and take our chances with a gap. Right, then let's have a quick go so we get around here before that big truck comes through. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. I see they're actually digging up a hole in the road on the right hand side there, so we don't really have two lanes, but I'm sure we can sneak through somewhere. Somebody complained about roadworks in the UK. Remember, it could be a lot worse. Nowhere. We're on a pristine tarmac 2-lane highway, properly built into the side of the hill. Okay, there is still quite... okay, I take that back, and then suddenly you run out and you're back onto roadworks again. But still, it was good for the few seconds while it lasted. This guy just come through. There we go. Just go through there. I will try again. So now we've got a lovely road with perfectly smooth tarmac and this incredible Colombian scenery with the peaks in the distance just visible through the clouds, and these steep hillsides with all this sort of jungle or rainforest on them. And it's this beautiful road that's just lovely to cruise on after we've been pottering around on these dirt roads and little single track lanes for a while. It really was quite a refreshing change. Just stopped for a break in this rather nice little town, this market square that you can see around here. So I've done my run to an ATM to get some cash, and I've topped up my phone so I have access to the internet while I'm here. And then we went to a bakery where they had lots of yellow things, lots of amazing tasting sort of meat, potato and rice based pastries with some homemade salsa, which was absolutely delicious. I probably should have taken my camera with me where I went then, but I didn't. So yeah, that's my mistake. Oh, tuk-tuk stopped. Let's sneak through there. Oh, there we go, just about. So we are about halfway now from the day. Got about 2 hours I think to go. I'm having an earlier finish today because I think overdoing it on your first day isn't really required. But if any of this has been interesting, look at Motor Ride Medellin. You know, they do day trips like this. They do sort of 3, 4, 5 day itineraries that taking some of the other sites in the area. This is the second time that I've used them for a day trip, but I'm definitely considering coming back and doing a longer tour. You know, I think to do 5 days would fit into a week quite well, with a few days in Medellin at each end. I'm not being paid to say that. I think it's just an amazing country, and not really one that necessarily springs to mind as being a biking destination. When you're here, it's really cheap. Getting here is obviously not the cheapest thing, especially from Europe, but it's the second time I've been here this year, and I'll definitely be back. I thought I'd taken enough video this morning, so I wasn't going to take much this afternoon, but now the sun's come out and a lot of the cloud on the hills has lifted. You can get a much better view of what the scenery is like around here, instead of just seeing the fog and the occasional glimpse through the trees. So yeah, this is, I guess, the other side of it. That's not the little sort of dirt roads and lanes, but just all this amazing scenery. You know, coffee plantations, sort of quite steep-sided hills. If you look over there to my left, obviously you can't look, I can. And yeah, it's this is just 29 kilometers from Medellin. We're sort of starting to head back that way now, but it really is a very, very beautiful country, and it's just a very fun place to ride a motorcycle. I've been riding for a while after the stop, and we're back on these little lanes again. And for the first time of the day, we've come across some traffic. I mean, I know we had the city traffic, but on the trails there's actually a pickup just up ahead of us that's making his way carefully along this track. Just at this waterfall for a sec. I don't know if you can see that up there to my left, and then again down here underneath the bridge down through that gap. I mean, it does look pretty cool down through there. If you do one of the tours of Motorride Medellin, it will actually take you on a rappelling thing where you can basically rappel all the way down there to the bottom and all the way from there at the top. I mean, it really is very picturesque indeed, and I'm sure it's thrilling. I've been riding along this dirt road for a while now. It's been of mixed quality, and every now and again you can see that it used to be a railway line. The rails are just poking through here and there. I mean, there's a lot of sort of rubble and stuff that's been dumped on top since then, and I guess it's been paved over a few times as well. But yeah, I guess this was originally a railway line back in the day, possibly for mining, possibly for something else. But it sort of explains why there's all these little settlements that have been built up along what is essentially a fairly steep hillside, both down to my right and up to my left. I haven't seen that many people up here, but you do get a few other bikes like that coming and going, and there are cars up here, so people do come up here. No trains for a while though, I suspect. Now we're back on a main road, and it's paved, and it's lovely and twisty, and it's kind of working its way up these canyons. You know, not that different to many a mountain road in Europe, really. Granted, this 200cc bike is only just pulling me up here. What's that, 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles an hour. I'm still going faster than most things on the road, even if not for very long. So I think that's us nearly done. We're now going to head back to Medellin, which means it's a bit of a mad dash on this sort of very smooth dual carriageway with all the surprises that this brings. Trucks, cars, other bikes. It's all rather chaotic, all winding through this sort of fairly sort of built up valley bottom with some ups and downs and some twisties just like this. And then I think there'll be a mad dash through the Medellin. It won't be rush hour, it's a bit early in the day for that. But certainly through the Medellin city traffic as we head back. But yeah, even these roads themselves are actually just really fun to ride. You know, nicely cambered corners, smooth enough surface. It's nice to do it when it isn't in the pouring rain like it was a bit last time. And yeah, just this really stunning scenery all around. As you could tell, I'm a fan. This is the last little bit of video I'll do before the end, just to give you a feel for what Medellin traffic is like. This isn't rush hour, this is just normal traffic. I think it's about 2 in the afternoon, something like that. It is very chaotic. It's not really like India. Everything's a bit quicker than India, especially the cars and the trucks. Everyone is very aware about motorcycles though, that is something. But it does mean you need to keep your wits about you. This is why I'm doing a shorter day today. Last year I had rush hour traffic like this to contend with after a 10-hour riding day after an 18-hour flight. So doing it this time, I feel like I'm much more with it, which is definitely a bonus. So that is it. That is the end of another ride in the outskirts and the countryside surrounding Medellin, Colombia, with Motorride Medellin. I've had a really good day. It's been quite a short day. I think it's only just come up to 2 p.m. I think we left about 8:45, so just over 5 hours with a bit of a lunch break at a bakery. So yeah, just a really fun place to ride. If you've never been to Colombia, if you fancy coming and riding around here, I can definitely recommend it. If you'd, I'm contemplating coming back and doing a 5-day trip with them. You know, just going a bit further afield, not basing myself out of Medellin, so there'll be the traffic at the beginning and the end. But other than that, just to see a bit more of the country. So if that does become a thing, I'll certainly post it on the various channels. If you fancy joining me, or even if you fancy just coming and doing your own thing, then yeah, look at Motorride Medellin. I'll put a link in the description for this video. I've had a really fun day. These AKT TTR 200s, it's a tiny little bike. It's not even a proper enduro bike, even though it says enduro on it. But for the roads here, both for the city and the sort of the broken up dirt roads in the surrounding area, it's been perfect. So I hope this has been interesting and useful. If it has, please check out my other content, and maybe I'll see you there. All right, ride safe. Thanks for watching.